Good afternoon, fellow Kenyans. On the 27th of March this year, we announced a nationwide dawn to dusk curfew. And then again on the 5th of April, we augmented this by announcing the cessation of movement into and out of a number of counties. That due to the evolving nature of the disease globally, international travel restrictions are hereby extended.
My name is Arnold Itili, 35 years old. Been born and brought up in an area called Doldol, that's north of Nairobi. In a remote area, not really a big city, a small town, but next to a big forest known as Mgogodo Forest. So I've been growing up seeing animals and birds and you know, I'm surrounded with a beautiful area, but less congested, not like the usual city I can now see. Actually, the background we've born and brought up, it's very difficult to determine what you want to be in future. So at the age of around 14 years, I was in Standard 5. That was back in 1998. Then there was an organization came and showed us some animal documentaries. And within the documentaries, we also saw the tourist vehicle carrying tourists. And now I really admired what the safari guide was explaining about the animals, about the cheetah, especially when they're hunting. And I really had a passion to become a safari guide in future. Considering the school I went to, it was not very far from the nearest private conservancy. We started seeing other tourist vehicles, and I did a research on what it takes to become a safari guide. So basically you had to pass good grades in high school, then you'll go to college to learn about tour guiding and wildlife. And that's exactly what I did, and I became a safari guide. During the busy time, especially during the migration or the high season, I'm out of home for 4 months non-stop, which means I'm busy almost every day. Especially for me, having specialized in photography safari, I'm occupied mostly 4 to 5 months. Literally, the COVID had come and shut everything down. Like everybody's home for now. Well, the main problem with our communities, especially Samburu, or the community general like Maasais and pastoralists who lives around the national parks, majority of them depends on the tourism. I being one of them, we got our immediate jobs around the villages we live, like immediate parks as safari guides. I've got even friends, cousins who work in the hotels, like waiters and barmen, housekeeping. So that's the immediate job loss for them. Another thing, when tourists come, a lot of them, they like visiting the nearby villages just to have some cultural experience, to see their lifestyle of the Maasai and Samburu, and now that's also is cut off. I really challenge and even ask the fellow communities that to look for other options for survival, not only tourism. Like if 80% of community students take hospitality profession in tourism, like tour guiding and working in hotels. Some can do law, Some can do other professions like teachers, so that to ease the pressure on depending with only one particular subject for livelihood. What I do like about Samburu and what makes Samburu one of the special, especially tourism destination, is the culture. The people of Samburu, they are beautiful, friendly, and also nature friendly for conservation. It's a beautiful place also to watch elephants up close. The elephants in Samburu are super friendly. To watch them, to stay with them, to watch their behavior, especially when they are swimming the greater Wasanyiro River. One of the most unique thing about the Samburu, some years back, there was a time a lioness adopted a baby oryx. That was someone never imagined could happen in the nature, but it did in Samburu. This is our first morning in Samburu. We are heading to Umoja Women Village in Samburu. So our aim today and program is to visit the village which was founded in 1990, basically to rescue the women who have been forced to marriage and early and circumcision. So we are distributing foodstuffs from donations because the women have been literally depending on tourism. And also with us we have a tablet for e-learning. So the tablet is equipped with education programs to enable the children to catch up with education since they have been out of school for 3 months now.
My name is Rebecca Lolosoli. I'm the matriarch of Umoja Waso Women's Village. And I grew up in Uwamba. And I started Umoja, we started Umoja in 1990. The women who have been kicked out of their homes, and they were having a lot of problems because they didn't have anything to depend on, together with their children. And the children have been dying because of the problem, because of the diseases, cholera, marasmus, malaria. So a lot of problem, and many women died because of the problem. And that's what made us to come and start Umoja. We depend on tourism because when the tourists come, we get the entry fee of the village, and also we sell our jewelry for the tourists. And we always, when we sell, we have always a small amount of money, like 15%, we put aside for our when somebody is sick to go for hospital, and the rest of the money we share, and also we have to buy again another some beads to replace the same necklace so that we can sell it again.
Hello.
Hello,
How are
welcome
you?
to Umoja
Thank you so much.
Women's Village.
Okay.
And we can go in.
Okay.
And we can see the women.
Okay.
And they can also welcome us
Okay.
with a welcoming song.
All right.
So welcome.
Thank you so much. So, Rebecca, I want to talk to you about what's going on in the village. Huh?
Now we have a very hard time
Yes.
in this village. In fact, everywhere,
Yeah.
especially those people who depend on tourism
Yeah.
because of this coronavirus.
Yes.
We have a lot of problems. This corona have brought a disaster here
Yes.
because there's no food.
Yes.
And even you can't go to the center because also of the police are arresting people.
Yeah.
If you don't have mask,
Yes.
you'll be arrested.
Yes.
And even you don't go to the market because you have nothing to go and buy food
Yes.
with. People are suffering
Yes.
very much because of hunger.
Yeah.
So we really appreciate for this food you guys you have brought to us.
Yeah.
It will really help,
Yes.
and we'll share with our community, because if now they see this food here, everybody will come and ask for food because people are dying.
Yeah.
Because of hunger.
Yes.
Not even because of corona, it's because people have no food.
Yes.
Look at all these children.
Yeah.
They don't have food.
Yes.
So we are really having a rough time.
Yeah.
And difficult life. Our life have changed
Yes.
because of no tourism.
Yes.
Tourists are really always helping us and feeding us.
Yes.
And we have never seen such a disaster.
Yes.
Corona, which even we don't know which kind of an animal is this one, called corona. Because we just had corona is disease which is killing. And you cough, you sneeze, and die.
So, Rebecca, considering your stay away from the city, how did you get this information about corona?
In fact, we didn't have that awareness
Yes.
of coronavirus. It's just something we had, just people talking about corona. And we have seen the lockdown, the police are arresting people, telling people don't go without mask. That's the only thing we know.
Yes.
Why are they arresting people? Well, then we had, there's some disease called corona. So that's just how we had it, and we don't know what's corona, and we don't know how it is. We don't know signs and symptoms of corona. So we are just running away.
Yeah.
And
so
also
Umoja
corona
Women
vaccine.
is known to rescue women who has been forced to early marriages and maybe circumcision. So with this condition of corona, can you still accommodate more?
Now we didn't. In fact, we didn't have those cases right now.
Yeah.
During this coronavirus.
Okay.
But we didn't know if we could accommodate, because this disease is dangerous.
Yes.
And we don't know where they're coming from.
Yes.
So we are a bit scared of this disease, which we don't know.
Yeah.
So even your child, when it's cough, where did you get that cough from?
Yeah.
Nowadays, coughing is not normal.
Yeah.
And it's always normal.
Yeah.
And we had, if somebody cough, that's the way you get.
Yeah.
We just had it from people talking, but we don't know this thing. Nobody have. People are not going around to give people awareness about this one.
Yes.
In Umoja, that's the only thing always we depend on. It's tourism. We didn't know something else. So this is now our jewelry.
Yes.
This is what we depend on. This is our life. We make our jewelry and we sell to the tourists to get food.
Yes.
So we have no tourists now coming. So all women, they display every morning their jewelry.
Yes.
And they wait for anybody to come in.
Yes.
And buy their jewelry so that they can have something for their food.
Yes.
This is their living. But no, even a single, not even a local tourist. So we have nowhere to sell now our jewelry.
Yes.
And that's why we have a lot of problems because of coronavirus.
Yeah.
It's a big problem. It's a very hard life now.
Yeah.
Without tourism.
Without tourism.
You know, with the Samburu community, we really like livestock. We love livestock. We can depend on livestock. But as women, you know, we cannot go for pastures. We can take, and also we used to have livestock before, but they were raided. So we are very scared because they shoot us and then they took our livestock. So that one also made us a bit scared of having livestock as women. And you know, our children are going to school. Our boys are not to people to go and raid or to revenge, and we don't even want that, because also we are, on the other side, we are the women who are trying to keep peace between our communities or neighboring community. We want our sons to go to school and learn and live about raiding. So even livestock, maybe buying and sell, maybe that one can do it. Instead of bringing and keep them, we can buy and sell. That one also can maybe help. And also doing something else, which we are going to think, what can we do? And farming here is not doing well. This is not the place of farming or to grow anything. Nothing can grow here, even if we try. And again, on the other side, we don't know how to do it. We are not good on that. We are good on livestock. We are good on looking after livestock because we grow up looking after livestock. But doing the farm, we can try, but it is a very hard thing for us. I don't know what we can do with that one, because it is something we don't know how to do it.
Speaking about alternative source of livelihood, apart from tourism, it's kind of a challenge for them, because the few people I've met, they got even no idea on what to do next. Absolutely no idea. For them, it's like, after COVID, we'll go back to double life. They have not thought of any option B for their livelihood.
I can go and show you how our house look like.
Yes.
So you have mind your head.
Yeah.
This is now how our house look like.
Yes.
We have 2 bedrooms.
Okay.
We have kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
This is the general bedroom.
Okay.
Where the visitors and the children sleep.
Yes.
And this is our kitchen.
Yes.
Where we cook. We use 3 stones.
Yes.
And this is the small bedroom.
Okay.
For the mother.
Yeah.
The owner of the house.
Yes.
And the small children.
Yes.
They sleep there.
Okay.
And this is our sitting room.
Okay.
Where we can sit.
Yes.
We eat here.
Yes.
And also we can sit during the day and we do bidding here.
Okay.
So our houses is improved houses.
Yes.
Because we don't move. Umoja doesn't move because we don't have livestock.
Yes.
To move to go for pastures, and because we depend on tourism only.
Yes.
That's only our living. So our houses is made of cow dung.
Okay.
These walls are made of cow dung.
Yeah.
And we sleep on the cow skin.
Yes.
You can see we sleep on the cows. We use the cow skin to sleep as like a mattress.
Yes.
So that's how the house look like. It's a self-contained house.
The self-contained house. Yeah.
Yes.
So how many people stay in one house?
Usually one family.
Yes.
But in Umoja,
yeah,
we always have women coming.
Okay.
Because this is where women run.
Okay.
During their problem. It's a shelter for the women.
Okay.
So sometimes, most of the time, you can have like 3 women in one hut.
Yes.
2 until we build another house for the lady who wants to stay. And if she wants to go back,
yes,
then she can just go back, because we have said here it's not a prison. She just come here for security.
Okay.
And after they solve with the husband or the parents, because
yes,
we have also early pregnancy girls running here,
yes,
then she can just go back.
Okay.
So this is how. That's why we try to build big houses to have enough space for the others when they come.
Yes.
And also, we do Women's Day,
okay,
when we have money.
Yes.
Because that's the time we try to teach the women about their rights.
Okay.
And we all sleep here outside, and that's why we are trying to make our houses a little bit bigger.
Bigger.
Yes.
So the difference between now here and maybe in the cities, we have lights in the house so that maybe children can look at their books maybe at night. Is that a problem for you?
Sure, yes, we don't have lights in our houses.
Yes.
It's only, we use firewood.
Yes.
So our children are just learning during the day when there's light under the trees. But inside the house is too dark, they can't see anything.
You can't see anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a challenge.
We have learned a lot through this corona. We have to know what next to do. If we don't have tourism, what next? We are still even confused. We don't know what to do.
We are leaving this morning. On our program is to meet one of the rangers, picking up from their camp. Then we'll be taking the ranger on our drive to the patrol the game reserve in Samburu, in the normal surveillance to check the animals, how they are doing. I'm going to ask Mr. Lekushula, the ranger, you're going to tell us if the number of elephants have increased or decreased in the recent years. Nego Lekushula ama eltomia sai o larin tikita mosho mo ke tobonda na binga
aguni. Kore adal domega to bani nyoleng. Kedi shangana bare ne kutoka baka lokugu na bare bunangare. Kekumole. Baka awengi.
Yeah, he just said that he thinks the numbers of elephants have really increased. So I'm gonna quickly ask him if the elephants sometimes strolls out of the park, and if they've had any conflict in between the elephants and the community surrounding the park. Amale kushola kore lutomia kepo dialo ai ponga to park
kepung. Robo kataraga bagana arso tongana na raga bankara ada merokuri babagani jaga sham rangara kya daga bama patona ninje musho yalari.
Just saying it's true, the elephants might stroll out of the park into the community. They've had situations whereby an elephant even kill a cow or maybe someone in the community. But they've not had any situations where the community retaliates against the elephants, because the county government, which manages the Samburu County game reserves, it comes with a policy that to compensate any damages caused by elephants. So it's a massive, there's a immense love for animals. Even outside, they feel the animals are safe, even when they're outside the park. Yeah, so we are lucky today. We found the warden of this post, and he's gonna tell us exactly what are the challenges they are going through, especially this time of Corona COVID-19. He's gonna show us the place they are seated, their vehicles, and tell us more about their daily activity. Sasa bwana warden, twende ukiniambia sana sasa wakati wa corona.
Sasa hii
shida gani
corona hii hapa imeleta shida. Kwa hivyo sasa ndio tumeona shida kubwa.
Ndio.
Kwa maana hatuwezi wacha ndani ya wanyama. Na gari ndio hiyo.
Ndio.
Kwa hivyo kama ingewezekana mnaweza kutupea gari. Itusaidiange.
Ndio. Na mnyinyi mnapata ama mnaenda patrol mara ngapi kwa siku?
Tunaenda daily.
Ndio.
Daily.
Mara ngapi kwa siku?
Tunaweza enda mara 3.
Mara 3 kwa siku?
Mara 3. Kwa maana asubuhi gari inaenda.
Ndio.
Kuangalia situation ya wanyama. Alafu tena saa 10 tunaingia tu mpaka tena kama ni patrol ile kusunguka tunaingia tena hiyo asubuhi mpaka saa 7 watu wanakuja lunch.
Na wakati ya corona mnaweza kufanya zote kawaida 3 ama kuna shida mnapata?
Tunaweza kufanya kwa maana tuwezi kuacha hii wanyama bila kuangaliwa.
Ndio.
Mpaka lazima tuwe tu.
Na shida gani mnapitia?
Sasa shida ile tunaona ni mambo ya mafuta, kwa maana tuko na challenge kwa maana tunaenda kuchukua mbali kidogo, tunaenda Maralal, kwa hivyo inachukua muda.
Ndio.
Kwa maana sasa mahali singine ile kila mahali imefungwa. Hapa mafuta ilikuwa tunakunywa hapa, sasa mbaya tunaenda tu Maralal.
Yeah.
Kwa maana kila mahali imekuwa close. Kwa hivyo haiwezekani kuenda mbali ingine, sasa ni kuenda tu Maralal ndio tupate mafuta.
We just got into this small town called Ashespos. This is the immediate town outside the game reserve. So we actually noticed the rangers are going a little bit of a problem, not going the usual patrols because of less fuel. So as the initiative, we decided to come and fuel for them. So this is the rangers land cruisers, and that's the warden. And we'll be filling the cruiser both tanks for fuel. Yeah, napanda polepole. So asante sana. They say thank you very much. They really appreciate this support, and it will make a difference definitely as far as the surveillance of the animals is concerned. Bwana Wane, ukiniambia uko na askari wangapi hapa na ni shida gani unaona askari wako wakipitia katika kama hii?
Niko naye.
Unaweza tembea tu.
Tuko hapa, nafikiria hapa saa hii wale wako hii station karibu ni 30.
Ndio.
Na wengine wako ma station nyingine. Kwa hivyo ile mashida sasa ni mali ya kwenda kuchukua mashakula inakuwa ngumu kidogo. Kwa maana mpaka tutoke, kwa maana siku hizi hapa maloji kama imefungwa maduka ile iko hapa. Sasa hiyo ni shida ya kusumbua.
Ndio.
Inakuwa shida kutoka kuacha tena park bila gari. Kwa hivyo mpaka tunapata hiyo challenge.
Bwana Wade, naona askari wako wengi, kuna wale wazee, hata wewe si kijana sana, nyinyi mko na mafamilia nyumbani.
Tuko na hawa.
Sasa mnapitia shida gani? Uko na mtoto nyumbani lakini bado uko hapa?
Tunapitia shida kubwa kwa maana hakuna nafasi ya kutoka kuenda huko tena, ujui vile utaenda kukutana na ugonjwa huko na ujui kama sasa inakuwa shida hata kuenda kuona watoto.
Ndio.
Maana haipatikani nafasi sahihi ya kuondoka. Kwa ajili mpaka wale wako hapa tunaendelea tu hapa ndani. Wale mwingine wamebahatika amepata hofu ya siku moja, wiki moja. Sasa hiyo ndio unaweza kupata nafasi. Sasa ikiendelea zaidi hapo, sasa hapo utaona itakuwa mbaya zaidi. Kwa maana sasa najua wakikaa kama mwaka na kitu sahihi, watu wamaliza mali yao, itakuwa shida. Kwa maana kama ile wanyama sahihi hata wanaweza kuumia. Kwa maana mtu hawezi pembeleza sasa hiyo sisi. Sasa watu wataanza kukosana. Kwa maana sisi hatuwezi kubali watu wa kule hii wanyama. Na pengine kama wao wameanza kumaliza mashakula yao, naona wataingia ndani ya wanyama. Itakuwa watu waishi itakuwa wengi. Kwa maana watu watakuwa wametumia ile pesa ile kidogo walikuwa naye. Sasa inakuwa inaisha tu. Kwa hivyo sasa ni mambo ya serikali tu watusaidie watu wa community wapate mashakula. Nafikiria tu hiyo tu ndio sababu itaanza kusaidia tena. Kama serikali tena watasaidiana pamoja na county, itakuwa mzuri afadhali kidogo. Kwa maana wakianza kuwa na njaa yote itakuwa shida. Ng'ombe sasa wataanza kukula tena, hii ng'ombe wako naye kidogo taanza kuleta shida. Sasa itafanya mpaka tunakosana na community. Kwa maana si hatuwezi ruhusu hao waingilie wanyama. Sasa unaona itakuwa shida itakuwa.
Now the question is, if you want to involve the community with wildlife, my opinion is, are they benefiting from the wildlife? Because we've had issues of lions attacking community cows and goats. If they get compensated out of that, then they will not see a need to kill the lion. The revenue they collect from tourists, some of the money should be set aside to do community projects. Dig boreholes for them, provide water, clean water, build school for them, you know, sponsor the children, the brightest children, even to higher education. So all the community will definitely support the wildlife.
Mambo ya tourism ni watu ya maana sana, watu ya maana. Ile kitu inatakikana ile sisi tujue sasa, sisi wenyewe tujifunze mambo ya tourism wa hapa kwetu. Kwa maana sisi tukishika mambo ya local tourism hapa, itakuwa tena kitu very important kwetu zaidi. Kwa maana sio watu ya kungojea kutoka ng'ambo, iwe ni watu ya hapa kwetu, hapa karibu. Itasaidia sana kiasi tukielewa maneno ya local tourism. Ingawa tourism watu ile kutoka nje ni watu ya maana sana. Kwa hivyo sasa ni mzuri tutegemee hata sisi wenyewe tujitolee, hata sisi tuwe tourism kwetu. Kwa hivyo naona hiyo itakuwa kitu ya maana sana. Yeah.
As we speak now, we no longer have international tourists coming at all. We were wondering if this COVID-19 end, do we still wait for the international tourists? We are not sure if they will come. But if the education was passed to the generations, we could even have a lot of locals, tourists, coming to visit. And definitely they could bring back the jobs for people who work for hospitalities. They could visit the parks, of course they'll generate income, and their livelihood will come back. Considering 40% of Kenyans is involved in tourism one way or another. We have people who supplies vegetables, fruits to these big safari camps. They are no longer doing that. So that person depends on tourism. People who work in tourism, they take their kids to school. So even a teacher is still affected due to tourism, because you take the kids to school, you pay, then the teacher gets paid from that. So it's basically like a web, a spider web. The moment the tourism is affected, it affects literally a lot of people.
Kuelimisha mambo ya tourism, ndio tunaweza kupata tourism, local tourism, kama watoto ya shule nini, ndio tunajaribu kusomesha. Hata wakikuja kutoka university, wakikuja area hii, huwa tunasomesha wale wanaenda kusomea mambo ya wildlife. Tunajaribu kusomesha hawa mambo ya wanyama hata wakikuja hapa, kwa maana wanakujanga area hii sana kwa hii park.
Wildlife is something really good, and it is even good for the whole of Kenya. In our country, this wildlife is bringing money in our country. It's bringing a good economy in our country. So we have to conserve. We have to love wild animals the way we love our livestock. So our children, we must educate them about wildlife. No killing of wildlife, no killing of birds, no killing of any wildlife, because it makes this country also beautiful and bring many people to come and see our beautiful wildlife. We are living here because also of our wildlife. Tourists are coming to see the good wildlife we have here in Samburu. And we have to protect together with our children, even our children, to know this wildlife are also giving us food, because if tourists come all the way to come and see our wildlife and they bring food to us, it's very important.
This morning programs, we're going to meet the Kenyan kid on safari. They actually built a beautiful cyber hut in the village there. So where they go and learn about wildlife and nature in general. So we're going to share our knowledge and see what they are doing to them with cyber, and basically imparting the information, the knowledge, and share some experience with the wildlife. Well, it's a beautiful morning. We just picked 2 kids for Kids on Safari program with James, that will be the program manager, and they will be heading towards the cyber hut which they have in the village.
We have several schools which are bordering the conservation areas, and as well every holiday, April holiday and December holiday, we select several groups from every school, and then we take them out for a camping in the National Reserve, one of the lodges. So the idea is we are doing conservation, but now in a tourism perspective. We want these kids to understand conservation in tourism perspective, and through that, or the only thing that can make us success is that we involve them as well in doing this, because many of them are the pastoralists. So we pastoralists as well, when we see wildlife, in most cases, as well, we see elephants, lions, and leopards, and many of other animals. Many of them are threats to us, because one, elephant can kill you, lion can attack your cows, your goats, as well your sheep. So they are threats as well to our livestock, which is source of our livelihood. So we are trying to change that narrative by involving these kids in conservation, so that they can learn and understand the value of this wildlife being within their backyard. Welcome to Kiltaman community area.
Yes.
This is where we have
Thank you.
the Maendeleo Cyber Hut,
Yes.
which was established in April last year, that's 2019. The name of this one is called the Maendeleo Cyber Hut and the library.
Yeah.
So this side we have a cyber room, this side we have the library.
Okay.
And then this cyber hut was established in April last year, that's 2019. Special thanks to Todd Cromwell, the founder. So we the team now, Faith, Mbaya, Kibwe, Stephen, and I, so we're the team that make it happen here in Kenya. So this is the cyber hut.
Okay.
The first thing, when we talk to the community that we have this idea, they give us a space where we can build this.
Yes.
They have never imagined this thing can happen. So until we came in with materials, like they would drop a lot of cement and then a lot of like all these structures over here.
Yeah.
And then they think, oh, is it going to happen? And then we gave them the plan of the house, you know, like the structure, how it comes to look like.
Yeah.
They have never imagined this magical thing can happen on their land. So when we opened, we told the community, anybody who is interested in knowing all this is welcome here. So these are some of the opportunities that we get when we conserve the wildlife. Because through this wildlife, Todd and his members, they came to Samburu. So for us, we normally see elephant on the way. Like we see elephant every morning, you know,
Yes.
like, you know, but we never understood, we never knew the value of having these animals over here. So after now we engage with this now, it's actually now, these are the benefits, like people get employment because we have a lot of tourism facilities within this area here. We have a lot of sponsorship as well, the children are being sponsored. We have so many other projects that we came to do the conservation.
So James, tell us, how was this place before COVID-19?
Great. So this place was super busy.
Yeah.
It was actually busy. Mostly during the holidays, it is super busy. But even when the school is open, every time after the evening classes, it's a day school as well, so there's nobody. So after every evening class as well, they come over here, they can learn something on all this. And we used to have an internet operational, but again, after the COVID-19, everything shut down. Like we don't have these people traveling all day from Nairobi to come and fix the internet. We used to have some issues with the internet, but again, it was something which is going to be again resolved. So it was really super busy all the time. Another funny thing actually was like, these people have the cell phones, but they don't have a good place where they can charge. So you can imagine you can have a phone, and if you want to charge, you can either take to Arches or to take one of the lodges. But now, we have the solar here, they can charge their phone here. So again, it's just actually, we're trying to eliminate some few other problems for these people. But to tell them we do this actually through the conservation. So that for now, they're able to understand the value of, again, the conserving the wildlife and the benefit they can really reap from actually conserving themselves.
My name is Dave Sambayo. I am from Samburu County. I am 15 years old. When I look at wildlife, I just see how beautiful they are, how they bring that feeling of happiness into our lives. The information that I get them here, that helps me and helps the students that are in our wildlife club back at school. So that the more information I get, that means if I get that information, that means they get it too. It will be really good if you had a subject that was mainly targeting on wildlife. We have a subject that has a hint of wildlife, that is geography. It has a topic considering wildlife and tourism. So other times you get some of that education, but it will be really good to have a subject that will only be targeting wildlife only. The lion is my favorite animal. I once hated first the lions. This is because it was the most dangerous animals to our livestock. But then coming to know the educations and the opportunities that this lion is bringing to the community, and to me also, I started gaining interest in that. It is the most aggressive and humble animal. That's why I love it. My big dream was one day, because the number of lions in Samburu National Reserve are few. I always once dreamt of joining other times a program here in Samburu, Saving the Lions, to increase that number, conserving the lions and bringing that number to a higher number.
Well, the importance of encouraging local tourism, especially to the people who live in the city. I think one of the mistakes is like they never got information, or maybe they never given education on wildlife, so they never developed an interest. Well, for now, they'll be encouraged. If they watch maybe documentaries on how beauty our country is, that might encourage them to come. But for the coming generation, I think it's absolutely important if these wildlife topics should be even introduced in a curriculum from childhood, so that the information is imparted to them, how important are these animals.
So today programs, we are heading towards the village, pick some children, take them for a game drive. There are actually 20 children in number, so we have like 5 trips to do today. And we just learned that to involve children in the conservation program is very important. Let them learn when they are still early, so that they pass that information even to the next generation. So we want to bring them, they get excited, they learn about a little bit of different animals, and that's what we want to do today. Good morning, my name is Arnold. I'll be your safari guide, or you can call me Ajub. So we go to the game drive and see what you can see, okay?
You know, one of the things that we are doing actually as a board is to try and get our kids to have an interest in their own country and in the main in the dynamics that define who we are. And our wildlife is one of the key areas. And you do that by one, giving them education, like we say, then giving them exposure. They need to know, and they need to see, and then creating interest through creating a framework where they can be able to watch this over and over again. I mean, from my communication studies, you need more exposures for something to sink in your mind. It's to appreciate it, start living it. And for you to own the narrative, you need to be exposed to it over and over again. One of the things that we must do, therefore, is to introduce this kind of education in our school system, where kids know not just the look of an elephant, but the importance of an elephant and how to relate with an elephant. Not just how that animal looks like and just drawing it and ending it there. That was okay in our time when we didn't have the kind of means that we have.
A good example of mine, my parents have never, up to now, taken me to any place to see animals. I took it myself. And definitely, I'll take my children to go and see animals. As far as I'll be alive, I'll take my son to see a lion, to see a buffalo. When he grows up, I'm sure he'll do the same to his children. So it's something that should be passed from parents to children, then children to children, for future posterity. It's something to, grow it, make it a habit. I'm wishing all parents who will watch this clip to start doing it, and definitely it will go automatically to their children.
Our kids are lost into fancy life that is being created through social media and the socialite behavior, celebrity culture, and they're forgetting what really matters. That life, in its very true definition, is rooted in that relationship between human and human and animals and the environment around them. And I think if there's anything we can teach our children right now, it's not theoretical studies. It is practicals on how to live with their environment. It's how to live with their surroundings. It's how to appreciate the beauty of nature and take care of that nature and the environment around them, knowing that they have a legacy to leave for their children. So how to teach them how to be responsible, how to intelligently relate with the environment around them. I think this is one of the things, if I was the Minister for Education, I'll be driving like tomorrow to say this needs to be in the curriculum. Our kids need to be taken to the national parks as part of the education. Why would people come from overseas to see animals in the national park when those of us who live next to the park do not even show any interest in visiting those places? And therefore creating that interest through film and then having programs where school children must visit the national park, must have a program and a commitment, and we build their values around conserving the wildlife. I think that will help a great deal.
So today we are back at Umoja Women Village in the Samburu, and today we came to visit the village and to meet Rebecca. And one of our purpose was to bring this tablet. And when we were here, we managed to take some clips of different kind of animals that are found in Samburu Game Reserve. And we were able to translate some of those animals' characteristics and knowledge in different languages, Swahili and Ma language. So that will enable even the kids who doesn't understand English to learn some of the characteristics and information about the animals which are found here.
I realized this project when the safari guides would send me video clippings, and these video clippings were sightings of the day, and they would describe, so they would give a piece of information about it. So I thought, how cool would that be if we translated this into Swahili and Ma language and take this information and show it to the children residing besides the national reserves. And we were lucky that the safari guides, immediately when I discussed with them this idea, they were all thrilled. They actually started helping me translate these videos. This is a pilot project, and we've only managed to give out one tablet so far, and that is to the Umoja Women's Village. This tablet, we've made sure we've saved a few video clippings for the wildlife, and at the same time we've also incorporated e-learning, as schools are not going to resume till next year. So I'm hoping that the children do study their normal syllabus. At the same time, I'm hoping with these short video clippings, they do actually learn something about the wildlife, and they have a better interest for these wildlife surrounding them. I'm hoping we could provide more tablets, e-learning materials, and these wildlife clips to more villages. So right now we have the struggle of funding. Obviously, this sort of project requires quite a bit of funding, as there are so many villages out there. So we have to try and support each and every community staying there. So at the moment we have no telecommunication partner on board with us, and we are going to start talking to a few. We did before we handed out this tab. We did talk to 2 telecommunication companies. Unfortunately, they were not willing to come on board, but I'm hoping we can get one telecommunication company on board, and this support would really mean a lot to us, because this would enable us to keep updating the tablets with more video footage. And we're not only going to be focusing on the big 5, but we want to also teach the children about termites, maybe the bird life, the flora which surrounds them, and you know, make sure it's much more informative than what it is now. And Kenya does not have a subject in school teaching the children about the wildlife. So I think this is the step forward. If we want to preserve Kenya's wildlife, this is the way forward. If we don't start showing these children, educating them at an early age, then we might not have Kenya the way it was. So we really have to start right now. These videos, I actually want not only to restrict them to the children surrounding the national reserves, but also just to all children from different walks of life. So I think having 3 different languages would actually help me achieve that, as these children are our future generation in preserving Kenya's wildlife and its nature.
All right, we just got to Umoja Women Village. This program was to show them a cinema on about the elephants in Samburu ecosystem. So we're just offloading this generator because they don't have power, so we have to bring our own power. It's quite heavy, right? Fantastic. Good job, Charlie. Welcome. Yeah, so we're gonna put it somewhere behind there where it can be less.
The idea of Jeannie's bush cinema came about after Jeannie passed away. Jean was she was a person who liked to give back. So after she passed on, I always thought I would really like also to give back and to keep her energy in this universe, in Kenya. And I always sat there thinking, how can I do this? In what way can I give back? And one day, funnily enough, I was just sitting in my office and looking around, and as I sort of scanned across, I saw my collection. We've got a collection of 1,500 wildlife DVDs, many of which were shot in Kenya. And I thought, that's it. I'm sitting on a treasure here which I could share with the rest of Kenya and give back. and that way keep her spirit alive and present as well. So, you know, thinking further about that, I figured it would be really good if kids, especially kids from rural areas living around national parks and reserves and conservancies, could see these movies which focus on their neighboring wildlife, which unfortunately they can't afford to go into the parks, and they therefore don't get to see the animals, they don't get to learn about them. And that carries on with the misconception and misleading ideas, which then turn to later on result in human-wildlife conflict. So I thought, hang on, if we can show these kids these DVDs, they will learn, not only will they enjoy themselves, but they will learn how to appreciate this wildlife, which is ultimately their wildlife, because they live right next door to it. They're born there, they grow up there. And so then I sort of decided, all right, what I'll do is, you know, we'll invest in a projector and a nice speaker, and we'll take these DVDs to them. You know, let's go out there, let's show it to them, and let's see how they react to it.
You know, the power of film as a tool for passing messages, for shaping ideology, character, and for telling stories cannot be underestimated. So film is a very powerful tool for promoting culture, promoting values. And so because what you see leaves such lasting impression in your mind. The visuals speak louder and leave a lasting impression. Like you've said, you read a book and you might forget, but what you saw leaves a more lasting impression. There are places that you long to visit, but you've never been there, but you talk about these places as beautiful because you saw them in a film.
It's extremely important that the kids who are living next to national parks, and not just them, I think Kenyans as a whole, it's extremely important that they understand wildlife, because this is Kenya's natural heritage. So my hope is, from an educational point of view, that they will get to learn about these animals through these documentaries and break those false ideas that they have about animals being dangerous regardless, you know, and learn to appreciate them as a source of income. Because if they, for example, if these kids watch these documentaries, they gain an interest in wildlife, they may want to study guiding. They then directly get a monetary benefit from that wildlife. Sadly enough, as long as there is no money attached to any commodity, as humans, we don't see value in it.
Well, I'm just fascinated with the amount of concentration given to this elephant film. Considering some of them have not been to be the park to see, so something very, very amazing for them. I can tell by the faces, the concentration and the happiness. It's only when you're in the max you can't see their faces properly, but they look super excited. Yeah, I'm also happy doing this and sharing with them these experiences. So beautiful.
You know, in Umoja, we wish just to educate our children, giving them good education and giving them so that they can have better life than us. And that's why we have school. And it's not only for Umoja, it's for the whole community, because we want all the children to have a good education so that they can understand all those things like conservation, right of the women. And that's why we want also, we are not saying our school is only for girls, because this is women's village. We are mothers of boys and girls. So our school is mixed, it's for boys and girls, because we don't want also to isolate the boys. So that's what we want to see we have done in Umoja, and that's the legacy we want to leave for our children, good education.
nay nay